taking out some further mathematics questions, WAEC questions. You know that further mathematics exam is fast approaching. So I'll just take some questions, theory questions, and probably some multiple choice question as well. So I have here 2011 further math question, the theory aspect. So I'm starting from, I want to pick question number 10. So I'm starting from question number 10. Question number 10 says the gradient of a curve is given by 2x minus 3x squared. So the gradient of the curve is given by that equation, the gradient, given gradients. Permit me to call the gradient m, is given by 2x minus 3x squared. Find the equation of the curve if a point 1, 2 lies on it. So we are looking for the equation of the curve if a point 1, 2 lies on it. Now, from this question now, we have the gradient of the curve. The gradient of the curve is given with this equation. What is gradient? So if you're a student of further math, you know what gradient is. In fact, based on this thing that we're dealing with, our gradient is simply the y, the x, where y is the curve. So y is the curve that we're dealing with. Now, whenever you have this kind of thing, and 1/2, you will know the reason why we're given 1/2 as a point that lies on it. So we are looking for y according to this question. We are looking for the equation of the curve if the gradient of the curve is this. So we'll say 2x minus 3x squared. Don't forget, we have the y, the x will now be equal 2x minus 3x squared. Now, I'll do something that looks like sort of cross multiplication here. So if I cross multiply, then I will have something like dy equals 2x minus 3x squared, then dx. Now the next thing I will do here, don't forget I'm looking for y. Now this is our derivative. This is the derivative dy. This is differential dx. So to remove derivative, to remove differential, what do? You integrate. So we integrate both sides now. So if I integrate this side, I'm integrating this side as well. This means I'm integrating dy, then I'm integrating this with respect to x. So if you do this, if you integrate the y, you definitely get y. So we are getting our curve already. So if you integrate the y, you have y equals. So when we integrate this, the general rule for integration is that if you have ax raised to the power n, then the integral of this will be ax raised to the power n plus 1 over n plus 1. So that's how we integrate. So let's do the same thing for this. So we have like the power of 1 here. So we have 2x raised to the power 1 plus 1 over 1 plus 1 minus 3x raised to the power 2 plus 1 over 2 plus 1. And there's something we do when we're integrating. This is an indefinite integral. So we will add a constant of integration when we're doing an indefinite integral. That's plus c, which is the constant of integration. Now, what I mean by indefinite integral is any integral that does not have limit point is called indefinite integral. But if it has limit point, that is, if you have a lower limit and you have an upper limit here, so it's a definite integral. So in that case, we don't need to introduce any constant. So having this now, let's tidy it up. So what do we have at the end of the day? We have y equals, this is 2. So we have y equals x raised to the power 2 minus this 3 will go as well, minus x raised to the power 3 plus c. Now, but this is the equation, but something is still unknown. The only unknown we have to find there is the equation of the curve. We're now have to, so this c, we should find a way of getting rid of it or finding its value, which will be the right thing to do. So we have to look for the value of c here. Let's look for the value of c. To look for the value of c, this information will be very, very useful. This implies that when x is equal to 1, y equals 2. That's what this means. And this 1, 2 is a point that lies on the curve. So a point whereby when x equals to 1, y equals to 2. So all I just have to do is just insert it inside this place. So when x equals to 1 and y equals to 2, I'll have 2 will be equal to 1 raised to the power 2 minus 1 raised to the power 3 plus c. So if you do this very well, this implies that 2 is equal to c. So which implies that y is then equals to x raised to power 2 minus x raised to power 3 plus 2. And this is the equation of the curve as expected. So if you're a student from further mathematics, you understand what I'm talking about here. So that's the equation of the curve. Let's see, is there any other thing that we have to do from there? No. So that's that. That solves that question.